new bench. Get that out of the way. This is it. We are whole big bench. Off here is where I'm going to be doing clockwork. There's another bench, a desk right over here where the lathes are set up. I don't think I can get a camera around there yet, but I'll be setting up cameras over there. In the meantime, the bench, including a really old spring from a Waltham. And this is it. I see one of the problems is opening up multiple windows so that I can see people text something. Alright, try that. Alrighty. So since we last met, let's see, get this picture out. There we go. This is a Waltham that I am rebuilding. It is a ladies' watch. We've got a new crystal I'm putting on it. Had to shape it to get it on there. I've got this monstrosity. This thing is the devil's work. It is a jump hour from Argentina, and no markings except for maybe a Swiss silver marking. But the really cool thing I liked about it are the hours. Jump hour. There we go. Anyway, really like those letterings. What this thing is going to take historic rebuild. It is I think every jewel in this thing is broken. Let's see if I can pull up a sample. Got a bridge here. Oh, wait. Just to give you an idea of what I'm working with here. That's not how it's supposed to work. That's not how it's supposed to look. It's just disgustingly bad. That's taking measurements and rebuilding a new one. Let's see here. find a piece. Ah, here we go. Small bridge. This mount right like so. It's just cracked up. Now, here's the trick. Here's the trick. Before these are removed, I've got to measure them so that I can replace them with the same size, both the pivot hole and the diameter of the jewel. Let's see here. Backwards. Oh, it's hitting the light. Just chipped. All right, so one of the problems I'm having, if you care, shoot. Oh, there it is. So watch this camera, the big camera. I'm gonna point it up. There's the light. Now, that's the light, and there's two pieces of paper. Two pieces of paper. That's like making everything dim here. Just chewed up. So I can move this and it just washes it out, and then you see those lines start happening. I don't know. I'm not a visual engineer. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. That being said, this is a project and a half. Now, in truth, let me get this last picture. There we go. In truth, it's not really worth fixing. It's not worth anything. I mean, melt the silver. What's silver going for now? $14 an ounce. But it's an interesting exercise, as they say. Oh, grody to the max. All right, so this is the jewel for the center wheel. Come on, there we go. I'm just moving everything around, aren't I? And you can't see anything. Damn it. Oh. Idiot. That's why we can't have nice things. So maybe I can do this. Yes. Move this so delicately. This is the most boring channel on YouTube. All right, no more dropping things. Oh my God. All right, this one's for the balance wheel. I've got to do one more. Let's see if we can do this. We got to get this one. This stuff is just gotta zoom in more. Come on. Where's the zoom? Oh, wrong way. Oh, I can turn the light up. This thing's got a light. There we go. I haven't used this thing in a while. All right, don't move. Why isn't that zooming in? Or focusing? Hey, Dad. Alright, so I can't get this thing to zoom in. Or focus. Alright. So I'm trying to focus in on this jewel for the balance wheel. There's supposed to be a clean jewel in there, and it is chipped, cracked, broken. It's disgusting. Audio check, am I looking good, sounding good, video check sounding good, or vice versa, whatever the numbers are. How's it all laying out? Spin that around. You spin right. You right. Boop. I'm going to do a little watchmaking lesson going on here. Paper. So the jewel And I already screwed it up. Another page. Running out of pages. All right, so the jewel. Let's go like this. That didn't help. All right. So here's the red jewel. It's a synthetic ruby. Goes in the middle. There's the pivot. There's a hole in the middle. It's, it's round. And here's the metal, the silver or the brass. It's whatever the movement's made of. And there's this little tiny metal that's there. If I could exaggerate it with it kind of looks like that. When you put the movement in, this part gets pushed over and holds it in. And the idea is that you got to push it back to get the jewel out. Now, you got to do some math first. You got to figure out how far that jewel sits. There's this distance right here. That's critical because you're gonna have what's called end shake, where the pinion is gonna go up and down. You don't want it going up and down too much. Too little, it's gonna get bound up. Too much, and it's just gonna flop everywhere. It might even go out of sync. The gears might unmesh. So you got to know where that distance is. You're also going to need to know what the hole size is and what the diameter size is. So those two, A and B. Oh, actually, you know what? And then A, B, and C. Once you have those, then use a tool, little tool. Either I buy a vintage one off of eBay, or I make one. Hopefully, I can make them. I'd like to be able to make them. And what that does is it bends that little piece of metal out of the way. Press out the ruby, put in a new ruby, take the opposite of that tool that you just used. They work in pairs, and brings that metal back in and crimps over the ruby. That's the idea. So what I have to do is go through on this movement on the base plate, the main plate, and the bridges. Got to go through every one of the jewels, measure them, and then find replacements or turn replacements, and then individually press them all out and you measure them and then replace them. So that's what this job is. There is no case for this one. There's no mainspring. There's no escape wheel, which is kind of interesting. So now I've got to figure out, because I don't know the make and model of this one, I'm going to figure out this. I'm going to take this one. Okay, so you're probably thinking, why are you doing all this? This is ridiculous. Okay, first off, some stuck to it. There we go. First off, I don't know if you can see it. You can see it with this one. It's silver. The whole watch is silver. Everything is silver. Now there's steel in here, obviously, different steel parts, but everything is silver. How cool is that? And the engine turning on this thing. Let's see if we can just take a look at this. All those little turns, right? Somebody by hand. There's a spinning. I have one actually. I got a bag of them. All right, so oh man, this is sucking down battery juice on my laptop. Oh. All right, so this is pretty cool. This is you can see that. I'll get maybe in this one. There we go. That's a chunk of rubber, and there's if you can see the hole in the back. Yep, there it is. That's where the axle goes. And what this is well, this is a fine. There's coarse, medium, fine. This is extra fine. This is it's a rubber impregnated polishing stick. And what somebody would do is that they'd have this thing mounted on a turntable and a sensitive, what's called a sensitive drill press. So actually it would probably like raise up into this thing. So this thing would spin, and they do doot, 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 just all the way around, and get that. Now, people say, well, why do that? I mean, that's it's a lot of work for something that nobody ever sees, right? A lot of people in the watch community are like, well, it's good for, it's good design. It's good design. Oh man, it's not showing up. Doesn't matter. I bought these for polishing pinions. I don't know if it's going to work. When I get to the polishing pinions, I'm going to be doing that for this one. I'll get to this one in a minute. Okay, so the perlage, or they call it engine turning. You'll find these on like sheets of aluminum and sheets of steel that are around an engine. It started off in plane engines actually, and it worked its way to automotive engines, and then became like a style. Like we're gonna do. But I think it serves a purpose. And from what I understood, some old timers talking about is that because all these mechanical machines use oil, and oil's always spitting around, the worst demon for these things is dirt, and the dirt gets hooked up into the oil, and the grooves on the perlage lock the oil from moving around. And so basically what it does is it stops the dirt from, so any dirt that's in the oil gets stuck in the engine turning, the grooves of the engine turning, and stop it going from the rest of the engine works. And I think that's what's happening with these older watches that are using the perlage. It's the same thing. And I think it just became decorative. It didn't become, a reason to do it, except for it looks good. If we let's take this machine. Back this up. Come on. All right. All those lines, right? This is an American watch, so it's not a Geneva watch. In Geneva, they'd use what was called, it would be required to have a, what's the wording? Côte de Genève, which is a vertical striping. And it would be required on Swiss watches or certain Swiss watches. I'm not entirely sure, like from a region or something. I'm not sure. If I'm not mistaken, Patek, like, push that forward, Patek Philippe. I could be completely wrong, but you'll find that, especially, you'll find these very specific stripes on a Patek, just like you'll find the perlage on a lot of other, and you even find the perlage, the spiral perlage on Patek as well. So anyway, the reason I'm doing this thing is, number one, I really like jump hours. I love the idea that everything's silver on it. I mean, it's just, how cool is that, you know? And it's really gonna hone my watchmaking abilities, right? It's, you know, learning about, I'm gonna definitely screw up. And I'd rather screw up on an old broken one than something that's new. So there we go. I'm kind of talking low. I got a solid core door, but my wife is in the other offices. She's studying for the bar, and I don't want to disrupt her in any way. So, still sounding good, Dad? You still there? Everything good? This one is a lady's watch. It was given to me by my mother-in-law. It is all in pieces and ready for cleaning. I'm gonna hand clean it with some naphtha and a brush. I've got an ultrasonic cleaner, but I want to be careful with ultrasonic cleaners and these older watches. This one's from 1932. It might be okay, it might not, but a lot of those older watches may have cracks in the rubies, and I don't want to take any chances. But this one I'm trying to get fixed up by February so that it can be given to her granddaughter. And then the one that's this one here is going to go to her grandson. And then I've got one other watch somewhere around here that's going to go to the other granddaughter. So I want to open up the screen. Let's see if I turn this. Turn this around. Wait for it. Careful. How cool is huh? That is a really cool dial. It needs some cleaning, obviously, but just get some blued hands with those, and it's just gonna pop. I love those fonts. So I just want to open that up and share that. That's this one. All right, what else do I have? Open this back up. No sense in not having it looking at a. Oh, sorry. Spin. The troubles with a round camera, like indexing it, gets a little tricky. Again, my do desk, it's a lot bigger. I'm not in the closet anymore. I've got some pretty cool stuff there. Not quite ready to show it yet. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, new toy. Not toy, tool. Let's see if I can. It's a time grapher. And what this does is it measures the beat of a watch. You can see what my amplitude is, what my lift angle. Basically, I can diagnose a watch with this machine. So, thumbs up, finally got a time grapher. in the bag, you say? What's in the bag? All right. So I really like the ETA 6497, 6498 models. Their movements, they're large movements. They were pocket watch movements, you know, and then people turn them into watch movements. Now they're larger. They're easy to work on. Good for beginners like me. But they're also like extremely popular watches. I mean, you're talking. Yeah, I can pronounce them. I want to say Panera, like Panera bread, but not. But there's a lot of watches that are built off of the 6497 or 6498. I built one. It's in the closet. The thing of it is that the ETA, the actual ETA Swiss movement is about, for an inexpensive one, $150. For a good one, $250, $300. Or you can get the Chinese clone. Now, I've already used a one of these movements for selling. I would not use the Chinese movement. Simply, there are problems with this in terms of quality, the winding, there's just go big or go home, right? Use the real ones, but it's not to say these aren't good movements, especially to practice with. One of the things that I would like to do is that there's a couple of watches that I'm looking to build, and I want to base them off of this movement. But I'm going to be basically building modules, building off of this movement. One of them is a jumping hour with a retrograde minute, and it's going to be built off of this movement. So let's pop this open, and we'll take a look at a Chinese movement. Maybe. Maybe. All right. So, first thing we're going to notice is that right off the bat, this is a nice looking movement. Look. Let's see if we can. I mean, we got some engine striping. We've got blued screws. It's clean. It needs to be oiled. I got to strip it down and oil it and clean it and oil it. You never really run one right off the. Let's see if we can. I mean, it's. Square watch. Oh, I missed this question. I'm sorry. Let me get to that question in a minute. First, I want to show off. This is the dial side. I want you to see something. Look at those. What do we call those? Engine turning, right? Or what was the other fancy word I used? I have no friggin' idea. All right, so I'm gonna like a little honesty here. If you don't know me, or if you're new to this, I've been fighting cancer for almost a year and a half, and the drugs they got me on just put me in a fog sometimes. I just look at somebody, I'm like, who are you? What's your name? What's that fancy word I just used? I have no idea. Anyway, very clean movement, nice and new. Something fun to play with, and something to build modules off of, which I'm looking forward to doing. Oh, get this back. Get that back in there. Come on. Hello. Do not. Oh, go this way. Upside down. Upside down. There it is. Movement. All right. So the question was, the square face goes on which watch? How does the hands perform correctly? Excellent question. All right. So let's see if we can bring this together. I'm going to bring the camera in. All right. All right, so here we have the dial. There's the case, there's the case, there's the movement. Let's see, can I have the hands up here? There's a second hand. I've been working on polishing the hands so I can glue them, but the I'm in the process of I've got to take this movement apart and reclean it and polish some pivots because it's a low amplitude right now. That's what I got the time grapher for. I can put it on and see what I can do to it. But this is a 1936 Hamilton, I think. And I'm using the wrong. So we're in the process of I'm focusing on that oval one now because her birthday's in February and this one isn't due till later in the year. So I'm gonna get the other one done first. So this one's just gonna get wrapped up and put aside. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's some other projects, watch projects I'd like to start on, but right now I really want to focus on getting the oval one done. So once I might stream cleaning it, or once I've got it cleaned, I'll stream putting it back together and see getting that thing running. But in the meantime, almost 8:30. I think that's a good run. Yeah. I don't know. Any last questions? I don't know what the delay is. I don't know what the delay is on the video. Mm-hmm. So I can stand here and sit here and wait for people to ask questions. Let's go. All right. Dad, I'm going to call you. Hey. So, I mean, wait, it logged you out of YouTube? It stopped the video? Oh, that was annoying. I'm sorry. Well, is the video? I mean, the audio works okay. Excellent. The video quality. I mean, is it? All right. Good. 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 Wait, are you talking to the TV or are you talking to me? No, not at all. It's. I can only see your texting. So, I'm gonna be ending the stream, but I just want to make sure everything was okay. Yeah. Yes. That was my voice that I recorded. You have to turn off the volume. This is like it's like you're calling a radio station with a delay. Wait, can you wait, Dad? Can you turn off the volume on your computer? So, he's hearing me ask questions like from 30 seconds ago. All right, rock on. Okay, so you're asking about. This is this is why radio DJs always say turn off your radio if you're waiting for us. When you call the radio station, they always tell you turn off the radio because of delay. Well, okay, so yeah, it's a square. It's a square dial. The hands work just like a round dial. Eh, meh. It's not exact, but you get the idea. Y- Nope. 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 There's no increasing of the hand, or it doesn't speed up or slow down. It's just like you take. It's just take a the you take a round dial off, you put it on a square dial, and it's not. They don't make. Uh, I'm ending this stream now. So bye, Dad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough damage for the evening. Yeah, let's just end this and we'll pick it up some other time.